everyone, it's Desiree, and we are here with day 2. I know it's day 2, but I'm still going to ask. I hope you're enjoying this series so far, even though we only, completed one day. But so much more to come when it comes to this series and what is packed into it. So for day 2, I am featuring paper roses. I'm going to focus on a couple of their die sets dealing with snowflakes. Gotta love snowflakes. They are, there's just certain things when it comes to collections and so forth. And I'll admit it, I'm a sucker for. Just saying. Poinsettias, snowflakes. Just saying. And I just fell in love with these. This is a beautiful corner style snowflake, and what I love is on the back usually they show you what it's going to look like. And then this piece here actually has a stitched edge, so it's going to fill only one side of the card panel, which I think is really great. So we're going to focus on those two, and I'm going to use two of their sentiments. Merry Christmas, and that's what that's going to look like. And this says ho, 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 and that's what it looks like right there. So these are the products that I'm going to be using. So lots of die cutting today, but very basic die cutting. Just getting them onto our card bases. We're going to create 2 cards in this video, and I'm going to walk you through each of them. So let's get started. Let's start with our panels. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of my makeup brushes, and I'm putting white pigment ink around the panels. What I like about it's the same thing that I do with vintage photo, except this is not vintage photo this time. It creates a window effect, I feel. It gives it a different look, and it tones down the background that you're putting your die cuts on. Now, what's great with these die cuts is they can be a focal point, or they can become the background of your card. So when you look at these types of dies, look at them in different ways. I'm going to be turning these into backgrounds, but at the same time, some can look at that and say it's become a focal. And that could be because of the embellishments that you're adding. I'm creating a border around the aqua. You can see we're going to make a slim line and a regular A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding card. I love the iridescent cardstock. So I wanted to make sure that I had a big border that went around that. I have the 2 different borders. So the corner borders are going to go on the standard A2 size card. I'm going to put one in one corner at the top on the right hand side, and then on the opposite, the left hand lower, I'm going to put the second one. They don't cross, but they come close. So it almost looks like it's a continuation of that die cut going around. I've chosen a satin silver cardstock by Tonic to create the image on the gray cardstock. I am becoming a fan of the non-traditional colors. When it comes to cards, we can really step out of those boxes or those ideas that we have. Now, decorating your house, that's something different. Whether you want to do a vintage style, a Victorian style, traditional, country, then you're going to have certain color schemes in there. But our cards, we can really break out into other areas. For the slim line, I'm choosing that snowflake border that has part of that stitching edge. So you could just keep it in one of the corners, but why not die cut it again and do the same thing that we did on the regular size card. We put one in the upper left, and we put one in the lower, or the upper right and the lower left. You can do the same thing here. they will cross over. Now, the size that I have this panel, they just cross over. So it looks like it's continuing up that panel without looking like it's two separate panels. So again, look at those, look at your dies, whether they're background or whether they're corners or whether they're just designs, to see what type of background could you create for your card. You can do many things when it comes to these. I am using sentiments as well from Paper Roses, and these are the fine scripts, and they have what I refer to as the cloud in the background. So these are very dainty. Very proud of myself. I didn't lose that eye again. I'm on a roll with that. There's going to be a time where I'm going to lose it, and that's okay. I'm good with it. I did not multiple die cut these. I just did one layer. I felt with the satin silver cardstock, we're good. We are absolutely good, and don't need to have it so thick. We don't need to create that chipboard, and you don't have to do that all the time. Now you're going to see, I'm going to put these on these cards because I put the cloud is done in vellum. I love doing the clouds in vellum. I'm not really a fan of, I will choose a solid cardstock, but very rarely will I do that. Now when I put this on there, it looks great. You can see it, but it gets lost. It doesn't stand out the way that it should. So what I did was I cut some of the silver, the matte silver cardstock, and I'm going to put them on top of that. That cardstock's going to help make that sentiment pop off without having to use any of the background colors. I hope that made sense. But I didn't want to use white either. So I just chose a softer color, but a color that has been used within these cards. I used my double-sided foam squares to prop these up, and that's where my dimension's going to come in, is from the sentiment. The sentiment for this card is actually the focal point. By putting dimension on that, you kind of help bring that as that statement, where the background just kind of falls to the back. If you didn't put a sentiment on here, if you put your sentiment down into the corner of the card or not over those designs in any way, that's where your background can become the focal point. That's just how I look at it. Somebody could look at it differently. Again, these are the ways that I look when it comes to the cards and why I put them together the way that I do. I am adding some pearl gems, drops, whatever we want to call these, by Trinity, but they're satin. I am really liking the satin. I always do. I mean, don't get me wrong, love the mirror. Look at that beautiful iridescent. But I just love the satin look for this year. It's probably going to keep on continuing. I hope you enjoyed day 2 of the Christmas series for 2021. Stay tuned for more. Day 3 is just right around the corner. Again, I will list the products that I used down below as long as they are available. If they are no longer available, I will put that note. Okay, again, dig into your stash. Look at the technique that I'm creating in the video so that you can use what you have in your stash and enjoy. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe, be part of my group. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and by all means ring that bell. You never know, YouTube may notify you. But this is a continuing, I do 25 days for this series. So they are pretty much back to back and there will be a few other videos thrown in to this month as well. Enjoy your day, smile, And I hope you are enjoying this holiday season. Merry Christmas as we get closer. But most of all, always, always be creative. Till the next video, guys. Take care.